Don't force anything in your life. A journey toward peace. The Ātma Buddha once imparted a timeless truth. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. In the relentless pace of modern life, we often find ourselves striving tirelessly for success, happiness, and fulfillment, convinced that through sheer effort, we can bend the world to meet our desires. Yet, Buddha's teachings remind us that true serenity and contentment are not found in controlling external circumstances, but in cultivating a calm mind and a compassionate heart. This chapter, aptly titled "Don't Force Anything in Your Life," delves into the profound Buddhist principle of non-force. It invites us to embrace the natural rhythms of existence, discovering that surrendering to life's flow can lead to a deeper sense of peace and meaning. Through Zen parables and the teachings of Gautama Buddha, we will explore the subtle art of letting go, learning to navigate life with grace, patience, and harmony. Picture a river winding through a valley. It doesn't bulldoze through obstacles in its path, but flows effortlessly around them, finding its way with quiet elegance. This image serves as a powerful metaphor for our own lives. By ceasing to resist and instead flowing with life, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of the universe, uncovering tranquility and balance that cannot be achieved through force or struggle. In the pages that follow, we'll examine 20 essential Buddhist principles that illuminate the path of non-force. From embracing impermanence to cultivating mindfulness, these teachings serve as guiding lights, helping us build a life rooted in equilibrium, compassion, and inner stillness. Along the way, we will learn how to release attachments, nurture empathy, and trust in the organic unfolding of life's events. As we embark on this journey together, let us remember that Buddha's wisdom is not confined to abstract philosophy. It is a practical, everyday guide to living with clarity and joy. By integrating these teachings into our daily lives, we can transform the way we approach both challenges and opportunities, finding fulfillment not in endless striving, but in the serene acceptance of the present moment. With open hearts and receptive minds, let us begin this exploration of the art of non-force and uncover the profound peace that resides within us all. Number 1. Understanding non-force in Buddhism. To grasp the principle of non-force, we must first understand its roots in Buddhism's core values: balance, harmony, and alignment with the natural flow of life. This section introduces the concept of non-force, its meaning, and its connection to key Buddhist teachings like the middle way and the interconnectedness. Defining non-force. Non-force, often referred to as non-striving, is a central tenet of Buddhist philosophy. It encourages a gentle, accepting approach to life, one that allows events to unfold naturally without excessive control or interference. This principle teaches us to flow with life's currents, meeting situations with patience and equanimity. Non-force does not imply passivity or inaction, but calls for actions that align seamlessly with the rhythms of the world. It echoes the Taoist concept of Wu Wei, or effortless action, where one acts in harmony with the present moment, guided by deep awareness and intuition. Buddha's teachings emphasize mindfulness, being fully present and observant of our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. This awareness helps us approach life with calmness and clarity, reducing suffering for ourselves and those around us. Meditation provides a vivid example of non-force. In meditation, we don't attempt to forcibly silence the mind. Instead, we observe thoughts as they arise, letting them drift away without attachment. Over time, this gentle awareness cultivates a tranquil and focused mind, not through force, but through natural, persistent presence. By embracing non-force, we learn to trust life's natural unfolding, recognizing that certain outcomes are beyond our control. This trust does not equate to resignation, but reflects a profound acceptance that equips us to face life's uncertainties with resilience and grace. To summarize, non-force invites us to engage with the world mindfully, patiently, and with a sense of balance. It encourages us to release control, act in harmony with life's flow, and maintain inner peace, a principle that serves as a foundation for Buddhist practice and personal transformation. Number 2. The Middle Way. The Middle Way, or Madhyamaka in Sanskrit, is a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy that advocates for a balanced and harmonious life. It guides us away from the extremes of indulgence and deprivation, steering us toward moderation and inner equilibrium. This principle emerged from Gautama Buddha's own journey. After years of living in princely luxury, followed by a period of extreme asceticism, Buddha realized that neither path brought him enlightenment. It was only by embracing the middle way, a life of balance and mindfulness, that he discovered true peace and awakening. The middle way teaches us that excess in any form, whether in material pursuits or self-denial, disturbs our inner harmony. Instead, it encourages us to walk a path of moderation, where actions and choices are guided by wisdom and compassion. This principle is not limited to material aspects of life, but extends to our thoughts, emotions, and relationships. It reminds us to approach life's challenges with a steady mind, avoiding the extremes of overreaction or apathy. By following the middle way, we cultivate a life that is grounded, centered, and aligned with our true nature. A life that fosters both personal growth and spiritual enlightenment, a call to embrace non-force. As we continue this exploration, let us remember that non-force is not about passivity, but about living with intention and mindfulness. It is about aligning our actions with the natural flow of life and embracing each moment with patience and clarity. By integrating the principles of non-force and the middle way into our daily lives, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and ease, discovering a peace that arises not from external success, but from the quiet strength of a heart and mind in harmony with the universe. The middle way, a path to balance. Gautama Buddha discovered that true awakening lies in the balanced path of the middle way, a realization born from his own experiences of extreme indulgence and rigorous asceticism. This principle became a cornerstone of his teachings, emphasizing that a life of balance is essential for physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The middle way is not about avoiding effort or discipline, nor does it promote unrestrained indulgence. Instead, it calls for a harmonious lifestyle, one that nurtures all aspects of our being without veering into extremes. By treading this balanced path, we cultivate a sustainable and peaceful journey toward enlightenment. Practical applications of the middle way. 1. Physical well-being. The middle way encourages us to care for our bodies responsibly, neither neglecting our health nor obsessing over physical appearance or comfort. A balanced approach to physical well-being ensures that we honor our bodies as essential instruments for spiritual and personal growth. 2. Mental and emotional stability. Maintaining emotional and mental balance is another core aspect of the middle way. Through mindfulness and meditation, we learn to avoid the extremes of emotional highs and lows, cultivating a steady, composed state of mind. This inner equilibrium equips us to face life's challenges with clarity and poise. By weaving these principles into our daily lives, we enhance our well-being and create a foundation for deeper engagement with Buddhist teachings, fostering a life of balance and inner peace. Number 3. Interconnectedness. Interconnectedness, or Pratitya Samutpada, in Sanskrit, is a fundamental Buddhist teaching that illustrates the web of interdependence connecting all phenomena. Often referred to as dependent origination or dependent arising, it highlights that nothing exists in isolation. Every being, object, and event is part of an intricate network of conditions and causes. To grasp this concept, consider a tree. Its survival depends on a multitude of factors: the soil it grows in, the water it absorbs, the sunlight it receives, and the air that sustains it. It also relies on insects, fungi, and countless microorganisms that support its growth. Similarly, human lives are intricately tied to environmental, social, and biological systems, reminding us of the profound interconnectedness that defines existence. Implications of interconnectedness in daily life. 1. Awareness of interdependence. Understanding interconnectedness reveals the ripple effects of our actions on others and the world around us. Every decision we make influences this vast web, encouraging us to act with mindfulness and compassion. 2. Reduction of self-centeredness. Recognizing that we are not solitary beings helps us move beyond self-centered perspectives. This awareness nurtures empathy and compassion, enabling us to build stronger, healthier relationships and communities. 3. Cultivation of humility. Acknowledging the countless factors that support our existence fosters humility. Our achievements are not solely our own. They are shaped by the contributions of others and the environment. This realization grounds us and inspires gratitude. 4th, letting go of control. Embracing interconnectedness teaches us the limits of control. Since countless factors influence outcomes, striving to dominate every aspect of life only leads to frustration. By accepting our role within the greater whole, we learn to focus on what we can positively influence and adapt gracefully to change. Integrating the middle way with interconnectedness. The middle way and interconnectedness are deeply intertwined. By following the middle way, we avoid extremes, maintaining balance in our thoughts and actions. This approach aligns us with the natural flow of life, allowing us to act intentionally and with clarity, free from the burden of excessive control. When we understand our interdependence, the middle way becomes not just a personal practice, but a communal one, contributing to the well-being of the broader world. This harmonious integration enhances both our lives and the ecosystems and communities that sustain us. Together, these principles form a robust framework for ethical, thoughtful living. By embracing them, we cultivate a life of wisdom, compassion, and meaningful connection with the world around us. Number 4. Impermanence, anicca. Impermanence, or anicca in Pali, is one of Buddhism's foundational teachings. It highlights the transient nature of all things, from fleeting emotions and relationships to the vast structures of the universe. Nothing remains static. Everything is in constant flux. Gautama Buddha emphasized that understanding and accepting impermanence is crucial for attaining peace and wisdom. When we embrace this truth, we free ourselves from the suffering caused by clinging to things that inevitably change. How impermanence relates to non-force. 1. Acceptance of change. Recognizing that change is an inherent part of life helps us let go of resistance. Instead of battling against the inevitable, we learn to flow with life's currents, approaching change with grace and openness. 2. Letting go of attachment. Attachments often lead to suffering because they bind us to the transient, whether it's people, possessions, or outcomes. By acknowledging impermanence, we can release these attachments and cultivate a deeper sense of freedom and peace. 3. Living in the present. Embracing impermanence teaches us to cherish the present moment, understanding that it too is fleeting. This mindfulness enriches our lives, allowing us to experience each moment fully, without grasping or regret. 4. Resilience in uncertainty. When we internalize the truth of impermanence, we become more adaptable and resilient. Knowing that challenges and hardships are temporary empowers us to face them with courage, trusting that brighter moments lie ahead. In conclusion, the teachings of impermanence, interconnectedness, and the middle way illuminate a path to balance, compassion, and inner peace. Together, they remind us that life's most profound lessons often lie in surrendering control, embracing change, and acting in harmony with the natural flow of existence. By understanding impermanence, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and learn to live with grace. Through interconnectedness, we cultivate humility and compassion, recognizing our shared humanity. And by walking the middle way, we discover a sustainable path to enlightenment, one that nourishes body, mind, and spirit. These teachings offer not just spiritual insights, but practical guidance for everyday life. When embraced, they transform how we view ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us, paving the way for a life of wisdom, fulfillment, and peace. Embracing impermanence, a gateway to freedom. By accepting the transient nature of life, we free ourselves from unnecessary attachments, allowing us to live with greater ease and less stress. This practice encourages us to release the need to control or cling to the fleeting, enabling a more harmonious existence. How impermanence mitigates suffering of a release from attachment. When we embrace impermanence, we learn to let go of attachments that tether us to what is temporary. This perspective liberates us to experience life fully, without the weight of clinging to people, possessions, or outcomes. 2. Reduction of suffering. Much of our pain arises from resisting inevitable changes and striving to control the uncontrollable. By aligning our expectations with the reality of impermanence, we mitigate this suffering and allow ourselves to move gracefully with life's natural flow. 3. Heightened presence. Awareness of life's impermanence deepens our appreciation for the present moment. Each fleeting experience becomes more precious, and we learn to engage fully with the now, free from the burdens of past regrets or future anxieties. 4. Cultivation of compassion. Recognizing that all beings experience change and loss fosters profound empathy and compassion. This understanding connects us with others, inspiring acts of kindness as we realize our shared humanity in navigating life's impermanence. Practical applications of anicca, impermanence. 1. Mindfulness meditation. Regular meditation helps us observe the transient nature of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations. Through this practice, we develop acceptance of change, responding to life's fluctuations with calmness and clarity. 2. Reflective practices. Activities like journaling or contemplative reading reinforce our understanding of impermanence. Reflecting on life's transitions or observing natural cycles, such as the changing seasons, deepens our awareness of life's constant evolution. 3. Cultivating flexibility. Embracing impermanence encourages adaptability in our thoughts and actions. This flexibility allows us to meet challenges with resilience, reducing stress and enabling us to navigate change effectively. 4th, gratitude practice. Focusing on the transient beauty of the present moment cultivates gratitude. By appreciating what we have now, be it relationships, experiences, or the simplicity of life, we shift our attention from longing or clinging to a state of mindful appreciation. The wisdom of impermanence. By integrating impermanence into our lives, we align with the natural rhythm of existence. This practice fosters flexibility, resilience, and compassion, helping us navigate life with a more open heart and peaceful mind. Impermanence, far from being a source of despair, becomes an invitation to live with greater mindfulness and appreciation, cherishing the fleeting yet precious nature of life. Number 5. Non-attachment, anatta. Non-attachment, or anatta in Pali, is a central teaching of Buddhism that emphasizes the absence of a fixed, permanent self. It challenges the notion of an independent, unchanging I, offering a deeper understanding of the impermanent and interconnected nature of all existence. This principle suggests that our sense of self is not a solid entity, but a fluid construct shaped by experiences, perceptions, and conditions. Recognizing this truth enables us to loosen our attachment to rigid identities and egoic desires, opening the door to greater freedom and ease. Key aspects of anatta and non-force. 1. Letting go of ego. Anatta invites us to release our attachment to the ego, the identities, roles, and possessions that we mistakenly equate with the self. This false sense of security often leads to suffering when threatened by change. By understanding the impermanent and interdependent nature of our existence, we dissolve the grip of ego, finding liberation from unnecessary suffering. 2. Embracing impermanence. Non-attachment is intimately tied to the principle of impermanence. When we realize that everything, including our sense of self, is in constant flux, we no longer feel the need to cling to fixed identities or outcomes. This awareness reduces the impulse to force life, to conform to our desires, allowing us to flow gracefully with life's ever-changing nature. 3. Freedom from suffering. The belief in a permanent self often leads to suffering as we resist the natural flow of change and cling to illusions of control. By letting go of this attachment, we free ourselves to experience life with greater lightness and acceptance. Practical ways to cultivate non-attachment. Self-inquiry. Reflect on the fluid nature of your identity by questioning the labels and roles you identify with. Ask yourself, who am I beyond my name, profession, or possessions? This inquiry helps you recognize the transient nature of the self and detach from rigid definitions. 2. Mindfulness practices. Engage in mindfulness meditation to observe the fleeting nature of thoughts, emotions, and sensations. This practice builds awareness of how the self is shaped moment to moment, fostering a deeper sense of impermanence and non-attachment. 3. Acts of generosity practice, giving without expectation, as a way to loosen attachment to possessions and ego. This cultivates a sense of freedom and gratitude, emphasizing connection over material accumulation. 4. Accepting change. Remind yourself that change is inevitable and resist clinging to what cannot remain. By embracing life's impermanence, you can approach transitions with greater calm and resilience. In conclusion, the teachings of impermanence, anicca, and non-attachment, anatta, are profound guides to living with wisdom, clarity, and freedom. By letting go of the need to control or cling, we open ourselves to the richness of life as it unfolds. Through mindfulness, self-inquiry, and the cultivation of compassion, we transcend egoic attachments and align with the natural flow of existence. This alignment brings not only inner peace, but also the strength to face life's challenges with grace and resilience. Far from diminishing us, non-attachment reveals the truth of our interconnectedness, allowing us to live with humility, purpose, and a compassionate heart. By embracing these teachings, we step closer to living a life of profound freedom, balance, and fulfillment. Freedom through non-attachment, anatta. By releasing our attachments and embracing the truth of anatta, the absence of a permanent self, we liberate ourselves from the cycle of craving, aversion, and delusion that perpetuates suffering. This practice is not about renunciation, but about profound acceptance of life's impermanence and interconnectedness. How non-attachment cultivates freedom and insight. 1. Interconnectedness. The concept of anatta underscores the interconnected nature of all beings. When we let go of the illusion of a separate, unchanging self, we begin to see our unity with the world around us. This understanding nurtures compassion and empathy as we realize that the joys and sorrows of others are deeply intertwined with our own. 2. Living mindfully. Practicing non-attachment means observing our thoughts, emotions, and desires with mindfulness, without judgment or identification. This awareness helps us see how attachment creates suffering and enables us to choose a path of non-force and clarity. Practical steps to cultivate non-attachment. Letting go of possessions. Recognize that true happiness does not stem from material objects, but from within. 2. Releasing fixed identities. Accept the transient nature of our roles and identities, allowing ourselves to evolve without clinging to static definitions of who we are. 3. Practicing equanimity. Maintain balance in the face of gain and loss, pleasure and pain, success and failure, acknowledging their impermanence and inability to bring lasting satisfaction. 4. Developing compassion. Foster kindness for ourselves and others by recognizing the shared experiences of impermanence and suffering. Through non-attachment, we let go of ego-driven pursuits, freeing ourselves from the suffering they bring. This practice allows us to move through life with greater openness, ease, and compassion, embracing its ever-changing nature with a sense of lightness and freedom. 6. Understanding suffering. Dukkha. Suffering, or dukkha in Pali, is one of Buddhism's core teachings. It encompasses not only physical pain, but also the mental and emotional dissatisfaction inherent in the human condition. The Buddha recognized that life is often unsatisfactory due to the impermanent and conditioned nature of existence. The nature of dukkha arises from 3 primary sources. 1. Attachment, clinging to things that are impermanent. 2. Aversion, resisting the natural flow of change. 3. Ignorance, misunderstanding the true nature of reality. The First Noble Truth teaches us to acknowledge the presence of suffering in life as the starting point for liberation. By understanding its roots, we become motivated to seek freedom from it. Key aspects of dukkha and the practice of non-force. 1. Recognition of suffering. Acknowledging the reality of dukkha is the first step toward liberation. When we accept that suffering is part of existence, we open the door to wisdom, compassion, and a life of greater ease. 2. Understanding impermanence. Suffering is intricately tied to impermanence. When we cling to things that are inherently transient, disappointment and frustration arise. By embracing change and letting go of attachments, we can lessen suffering and find peace amidst life's fluctuations. 3. Letting go of craving. Tanha. The desire for life to be other than it is the root cause of suffering. When we learn to release this craving, we close the gap between reality and our expectations, thereby reducing dissatisfaction and distress. 4. Compassionate response. By recognizing our own suffering, we develop greater empathy for the struggles of others. This empathy fuels our compassion and inspires us to alleviate the suffering of those around us. In doing so, we contribute to a more harmonious and interconnected world. 5. Mindful awareness. Mindfulness enables us to observe our experiences, thoughts, emotions, and sensations without becoming entangled in them. This practice allows us to respond to suffering with clarity and equanimity, rather than reactive impulses, reducing its intensity and fostering inner calm. Practical approaches to addressing dukkha. 1. Practicing acceptance. Embrace life as it is, without striving for an idealized version of reality. Accept that dukkha is a natural part of existence, and through this acceptance, find freedom. 2. Cultivating non-attachment. Release desires and attachments that perpetuate suffering. Understand that true happiness arises not from external conditions, but from inner peace and clarity. 3. Developing compassion. Use your understanding of suffering to nurture kindness for yourself and others. Recognize that compassion transforms both the giver and the receiver, creating a ripple effect of well-being. 4. Living mindfully. Regular mindfulness practice helps us observe dukkha as it arises, enabling us to respond with wisdom rather than reacting out of fear or resistance. The role of non-force in overcoming suffering. The principle of non-force offers a gentle yet transformative approach to addressing dukkha. Instead of resisting suffering or striving to control every aspect of life, we learn to flow with its natural rhythms. This practice doesn't mean passivity. It means acting with awareness, acceptance, and compassion. By aligning ourselves with the realities of impermanence and interconnectedness, we loosen the grip of attachment and craving. This shift allows us to experience life with a sense of balance and equanimity, reducing the weight of suffering and increasing our capacity for joy and peace. In conclusion, the teachings of dukkha and anatta provide profound insights into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. By acknowledging the transient and interconnected nature of existence, we cultivate a life of mindfulness, compassion, and freedom. Through the practices of non-attachment and non-force, we learn to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience, embracing impermanence not as a source of despair, but as a gateway to deeper understanding and contentment. When we let go of the need to control or cling, we uncover the profound peace that lies within, a peace that allows us to live with openness, lightness, and profound connection to the present moment, developing wisdom and compassion. Through the practice of reflecting on the impermanent and conditioned nature of existence, we cultivate wisdom, gaining insight into the causes and cessation of suffering, as outlined in the Four Noble Truths. Alongside this wisdom, we engage in compassionate action, responding to suffering with kindness and care for ourselves and others, while actively working to alleviate its causes wherever possible. By addressing the roots of suffering and fostering a life centered on wisdom, compassion, and non-attachment, we can significantly diminish the intensity of dukkha. While suffering may not be entirely eradicated, we can learn to face life's challenges with grace and resilience, guided by the principle of non-force as a beacon on the path to liberation. Number 7. Mindfulness, Sai. Mindfulness, or sati in Pali, is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, inviting us to bring our attention fully to the present moment with an attitude of openness and curiosity. It involves observing our thoughts, emotions, sensations, and surroundings without attachment or aversion, creating a foundation for wisdom and compassion. The Buddha emphasized mindfulness as a vital tool for breaking free from the habitual patterns that perpetuate suffering. By training the mind to remain present and aware, we can interrupt reactive tendencies and respond to life's challenges with clarity and skill. Key aspects of mindfulness. 1. Present moment. Awareness. Mindfulness centers on grounding ourselves in the present moment, avoiding fixation on the past or anxiety about the future. This presence allows us to respond to situations with wisdom and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively based on conditioned habits. 2. Non-judgmental observation. Practicing mindfulness involves observing our inner and outer experiences without judgment or criticism. By simply acknowledging thoughts and emotions as they arise and pass, we free ourselves from the tendency to label them as good or bad. 3. Cultivating equanimity. Mindfulness nurtures equanimity, a calm and balanced state of mind that enables us to remain composed amidst life's fluctuations. By recognizing the impermanence of all experiences, we develop an inner peace that remains undisturbed by external circumstances. 4. Interrupting reactive patterns. With mindfulness, we interrupt the automatic reactivity of the mind, creating a pause between stimulus and response. This pause allows us to choose a skillful, compassionate action instead of reacting impulsively or habitually. 5. Deepening insight. Over time, mindfulness deepens our understanding of the nature of reality. By observing the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless qualities of our experiences, we gain profound insights into the Four Noble Truths and the cessation of suffering. Practical applications of mindfulness. 1. Formal meditation practice. Practices like mindfulness of breath, body scan meditation, and loving-kindness meditation train the mind to remain anchored in the present moment and develop awareness of the transient nature of thoughts and sensations. 2. Informal mindfulness. Mindfulness can be applied to everyday activities such as eating, walking, or washing dishes. By paying attention to the sensations and emotions that arise during these tasks, we turn ordinary moments into opportunities for presence and clarity. 3. Mindful reflection. Reflecting mindfully on our thoughts and emotions helps us recognize patterns in our reactions and behaviors. This practice fosters self-awareness and empowers us to respond skillfully to life's challenges. 4. Integration into daily life. Mindfulness becomes transformative when applied to difficult situations. By bringing awareness and compassion to challenging interactions, we learn to respond thoughtfully rather than react out of habit. Through mindfulness, we align with the principle of non-force, letting go of the need to control or manipulate our experiences. As this practice deepens, we uncover a profound peace and freedom that arises from fully embracing the present moment. Equanimity, upekkha. Equanimity, or upekkha in Pali, is the state of balance, tranquility, and even-mindedness born from a deep understanding of the impermanence and interconnectedness of all things. It allows us to remain calm and composed in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs, neither clinging to pleasant experiences nor resisting unpleasant ones. The Buddha taught that cultivating equanimity is essential for attaining true peace and liberation. When we meet each moment with equanimity, we free ourselves from the emotional roller coaster of reactions that often lead to suffering. Key aspects of equanimity and non-force balance. Amidst change, equanimity arises from understanding that life is a continuous cycle of change. By accepting this reality, we develop an inner steadiness that is not dependent on external circumstances. 1. Freedom from clinging and aversion. Equanimity teaches us to let go of the tendency to grasp at what feels pleasurable or push away what feels uncomfortable. Instead, we learn to embrace life as it is, without resistance or attachment. 2. Compassionate detachment. While equanimity involves detachment, it is not indifference. Rather, it allows us to care deeply without being overwhelmed by the outcomes. This compassionate detachment fosters a healthy relationship with ourselves and others. 3. Resilience in adversity. Equanimity strengthens our ability to face challenges with grace and resilience. By remaining composed, We navigate difficult situations with clarity and wisdom, finding peace even in the midst of turbulence. 4. Integration with mindfulness. Equanimity and mindfulness work hand in hand. Mindfulness creates the awareness needed to observe life's fluctuations, while equanimity enables us to maintain balance and peace amidst those fluctuations. Practical ways to cultivate equanimity. 1. Meditation on impermanence. Reflecting on the transient nature of experiences helps us develop a balanced perspective, enabling us to remain steady regardless of external circumstances. 2. Loving kindness practices. Cultivating loving kindness alongside equanimity allows us to care deeply while maintaining a sense of balance. This practice deepens compassion while fostering inner stability. 3. Reframing challenges. Viewing challenges as opportunities for growth helps us approach them with a calm, balanced mindset. By accepting adversity as a natural part of life, we strengthen our resilience. 4th. Mindful acceptance practice. Accepting life as it unfolds without clinging to outcomes. This acceptance fosters peace and reduces the emotional turbulence caused by unmet expectations. In conclusion, the cultivation of mindfulness and equanimity transforms how we engage with life. Through mindfulness, we develop present moment awareness, clarity, and compassion. Equanimity complements this practice by grounding us in balance, allowing us to meet life's highs and lows with grace and resilience. Together, these practices embody the principle of non-force, teaching us to release the need for control and to embrace life with openness and acceptance. By integrating mindfulness and equanimity into our daily lives, we move closer to living with peace, wisdom, and liberation, finding freedom in the here and now. Equanimity, stability amidst life's changes. Equanimity, or upekkha in Pali, embodies balance, tranquility, and inner composure. It is the quality that allows us to remain grounded and steady amidst life's inevitable ups and downs. By cultivating equanimity, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, letting go of the need to control and embracing life with acceptance and grace. Key aspects of equanimity. 1. Stability in the midst of change. Equanimity enables us to stay centered even as life's circumstances shift unpredictably. By understanding the impermanence of all things, we meet both joy and sorrow with a steady heart, recognizing that all experiences are transient and ultimately unsatisfactory. 2. Non-attachment to outcomes. Letting go of attachment to specific outcomes is a hallmark of equanimity. When we release the need to control or manipulate situations, we create space to accept whatever arises with grace, free from the stress of forcing things to conform to our desires. 3. Compassionate detachment. Equanimity is not apathy or indifference. It is a compassionate detachment. This quality allows us to empathize with the suffering of others and respond with kindness without being overwhelmed by their pain or feeling the need to fix their problems. 4. Balanced response to pleasure and pain. Equanimity helps us navigate success and failure, pleasure and pain, with a calm and composed mind. Rather than becoming overly elated by triumphs or devastated by setbacks, we maintain a balanced perspective, knowing that both are impermanent. 5. Spacious awareness. A spacious awareness underpins equanimity, allowing us to observe thoughts, emotions, and sensations with clarity and detachment. By not clinging to pleasant experiences or resisting unpleasant ones, we move through life with greater ease and freedom. Practices for cultivating equanimity. 1. Mindfulness practice. Develop mindfulness to observe experiences with equanimity, noticing the transient nature of thoughts, emotions, and sensations without becoming entangled in them. 2. Compassion practice. Soften reactions and foster equanimity by cultivating compassion for yourself and others in the face of suffering. 3. Reflective inquiry. Engage in reflective practices that explore the impermanence and interconnectedness of existence, gaining deeper insight into the causes of suffering. 4. Self-compassion. Meet your own imperfections and challenges with understanding, recognizing that growth is a shared human journey. By embodying equanimity, we cultivate a profound sense of stability and peace that transcends life's changing circumstances. This practice aligns with the principle of non-force, allowing us to respond to life with balance, acceptance, and compassion. Over time, equanimity deepens into a liberating sense of ease with whatever arises in each moment. Compassion, a heart awakened to kindness. Compassion, or karuna in Pali, is the heartfelt wish for all beings to be free from suffering, paired with the commitment to alleviate their pain. It is an essential quality in Buddhism, transforming not only the lives of others, but also our own hearts and minds, cultivating peace, joy, and fulfillment. Key aspects of compassion. 1. Empathetic. Understanding. Compassion arises from recognizing the universal nature of suffering. When we empathize with the struggles of others, our hearts naturally open with kindness and a desire to ease their pain. 2. Active response. True compassion is not passive. It motivates us to act. Whether through small acts of kindness, supportive service, or larger efforts of advocacy, compassionate action expresses our commitment to alleviate suffering. 3. Non-discrimination. Compassion is inclusive and unconditional, extending to all beings regardless of their background, beliefs, or actions. By cultivating compassion free from bias, we deepen our sense of interconnectedness and break down the barriers that divide us. 4. Self-compassion. Compassion begins with ourselves. When we treat our own struggles and imperfections with understanding, we create a foundation for genuine compassion toward others. Self-compassion fosters resilience, empathy, and a gentler approach to life. 5. Transformative power. Compassion transforms both the giver and the receiver. In practicing compassion, we nurture qualities like generosity, patience, and forgiveness within ourselves. At the same time, our acts of kindness inspire others, creating a ripple effect that fosters a more compassionate world. Practices for cultivating compassion. 1. Loving kindness meditation. Regularly practice metta, loving kindness meditation, to develop compassion for yourself and others. Start by wishing well for yourself, then extend those wishes to loved ones, acquaintances, and eventually all beings. 2. Empathetic. Listening. Practice deep listening without judgment or the need to offer solutions, creating space for others to feel seen and understood. 3. Acts of kindness. Perform intentional acts of kindness, whether small or large, to bring comfort and support to others. 4. Self-compassion practices. Offer yourself kindness during moments of struggle, reframing self-criticism into understanding and encouragement. Compassion and non-force compassion aligns perfectly with the principle of non-force. It encourages us to respond to suffering not through control or coercion, but through empathy and kindness. When we act from a place of compassion, we release the ego's need to fix or manipulate situations, instead allowing our actions to flow naturally from a heart attuned to the needs of others. In conclusion, both equanimity and compassion are transformative qualities that empower us to navigate life with balance, kindness, and resilience. Equanimity provides the stability to remain grounded amidst change, while compassion awakens the heart to the interconnectedness of all beings. Together, they form a powerful foundation for living a life of non-force, embracing challenges with grace, responding to suffering with empathy, and cultivating peace within ourselves and the world. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, we align with the Buddha's teachings, fostering a sense of liberation and joy that arises from living with clarity, balance, and an open heart. In practical terms, cultivating compassion involves developing empathy. Cultivating empathy through practices such as loving-kindness meditation, which involves generating feelings of love and compassion towards ourselves and others. Acting with kindness, engaging in acts of kindness and generosity towards others, whether through small gestures of kindness or more significant acts of service. Practicing forgiveness, cultivating forgiveness towards ourselves and others, recognizing that holding on to resentment and grudges only perpetuates suffering. Engaging in social justice, advocating for justice and equality for all beings, addressing the root causes of suffering, and working towards creating a more compassionate society. By cultivating compassion, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by responding to the suffering of others with kindness, understanding, and support, rather than trying to force outcomes or fix problems. Compassion opens our hearts to the interconnectedness of all beings and inspires us to live with greater wisdom, kindness, and integrity. As we deepen our practice of compassion, we contribute to the alleviation of suffering in the world and create conditions for greater peace and happiness for all beings. Number 10. Loving kindness, metta, or loving kindness in Pali, is a profound quality of unconditional love, friendliness, and goodwill towards all beings. It is the heartfelt wish for the well-being, happiness, and safety of oneself and others, without exception. The practice of loving kindness is central to Buddhism, as it cultivates a sense of connection, empathy, and generosity towards all beings. By nurturing loving kindness, we dissolve barriers of separation and foster a sense of unity and interconnectedness with all of life. Key aspects of loving kindness and its relationship to non-force. 1. Universal love. Loving kindness extends to all beings without exception. It is the recognition of the inherent worth and dignity of every sentient being, regardless of their background, beliefs, or actions. By cultivating loving kindness, we overcome feelings of separation and cultivate a sense of oneness with all beings. 2. Inner transformation. The practice of loving kindness transforms our own hearts and minds, leading to greater inner peace, happiness, and well-being. When we generate feelings of love and kindness towards ourselves and others, we create the conditions for greater joy, contentment, and fulfillment in our lives. 3. Alleviating suffering. Loving kindness is a powerful antidote to suffering. When we offer love and compassion to those who are suffering, we create a sense of connection and support that alleviates their pain and brings comfort and solace. 4th, generosity of spirit. Loving kindness is an expression of generosity. When we offer goodwill and kindness towards others, we create a ripple effect of positivity that uplifts not only the recipient, but also ourselves and those around us. 5. Wishing well for others. The practice of loving kindness involves actively wishing well for others. Through meditation and reflection, we generate thoughts and feelings of love, compassion, and goodwill towards ourselves and all beings, cultivating a sense of warmth and openness in our hearts. Practical ways to cultivate loving kindness. Loving kindness meditation. Engaging in loving kindness meditation, in which we cultivate feelings of love, compassion, and goodwill towards ourselves and others. Kind actions, performing acts of kindness and generosity towards others, whether through simple gestures of care and support or more significant acts of service. Wise speech, speaking words of kindness and encouragement, avoiding gossip, criticism, or harsh language that can cause harm to others. Compassionate listening, listening with empathy and understanding, offering a compassionate presence to those who are suffering or in need of support. By cultivating loving kindness, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by responding to the world with love, kindness, and compassion, rather than trying to force outcomes or control situations. Loving kindness opens our hearts to the interconnectedness of all beings and inspires us to live with greater generosity, empathy, and care. As we deepen our practice of loving kindness, we create conditions for greater harmony, happiness, and well-being for ourselves and all beings. Number 11. Right effort samavayama, or right effort in Pali, is one of the components of the Noble Eightfold Path, the path to the cessation of suffering, as taught by the Buddha. It refers to the cultivation of wholesome qualities and the abandonment of unwholesome qualities through skillful effort and diligence. The practice of right effort involves striving to develop positive qualities such as mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, while also exerting effort to overcome negative qualities such as greed, hatred, and delusion. It is the balanced effort required to progress along the path towards liberations and awakening. Key aspects of right effort and its relationship to non-force. 1. Balanced effort. Right effort involves finding a balance between effort and allowing things to unfold naturally. It is the middle way between the extremes of laziness and striving. By exerting effort mindfully and skillfully, we create the conditions for growth and transformation without forcing outcomes or grasping for results. 2. Cultivating wholesome qualities. Right effort entails cultivating wholesome qualities such as mindfulness, compassion, loving kindness, generosity, and wisdom. By consciously developing these qualities through practice and reflection, we create the conditions for greater well-being and happiness for ourselves and others. 3. Overcoming unwholesome qualities. Right effort also involves exerting effort to overcome unwholesome qualities such as greed, hatred, anger, jealousy, and ignorance. Through mindfulness and introspection, we recognize these unwholesome tendencies within ourselves and make a concerted effort to abandon them, cultivating greater inner peace and freedom. As a result. 4. Persistent practice. Right effort requires persistence and determination in the face of obstacles and challenges. It is the willingness to continue practicing diligently, even when progress seems slow or difficult. By maintaining a steadfast commitment to the path, we gradually cultivate the qualities necessary for awakening. 5. Non-attachment to results. Right effort is characterized by non-attachment to results. Instead of fixating on outcomes, we focus on the quality of our effort, allowing the fruits of our practice to unfold naturally over time. While we exert effort in our practice, we let go of expectations and attachments to specific outcomes. Instead, we focus on the process of cultivation itself, trusting that the fruits of our efforts will manifest in their own time. In practical terms, cultivating right effort involves mindful practice, engaging in mindfulness practices such as meditation, reflection, and daily mindfulness activities to develop awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Skillful action. Acting with integrity and wisdom in our interactions with ourselves and others, cultivating positive qualities, and refraining from harmful actions. Self-reflection. Reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with honesty and openness, identifying unwholesome patterns, and making a concerted effort to transform them. Seeking guidance. Seeking guidance from wise and experienced teachers, mentors, or spiritual friends who can offer support, encouragement, and direction on the path. By cultivating right effort, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by exerting effort mindfully and skillfully, without trying to force outcomes or control situations. Right effort is the diligent cultivation of the qualities necessary for liberation and awakening, leading to greater peace, happiness, and well-being for ourselves and all beings. As we deepen our practice of right effort, we create the conditions for profound transformation and liberation from suffering. Number 12. Right intention, Samma Sankappa. Right intention, or Samma Sankappa in Pali, is another aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path, which serves as a guide to living a life of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental development. It refers to the cultivation of wholesome intentions and attitudes that are conducive to spiritual growth and liberation from suffering. The practice of right intention involves aligning our intentions with the principles of non-harming, non-ill will, and non-cruelty. It is about cultivating intentions of renunciation, loving kindness, and compassion, while letting go of intentions rooted in greed, hatred, and delusion. Here are key aspects of right intention and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Alignment with ethical principles. Right intention involves aligning our intentions with ethical principles, such as non-harming. It is about cultivating intentions that promote the well-being and happiness of ourselves and others, while refraining from those that cause harm or suffering. 2. Cultivating loving kindness. Right intention includes wishing for the welfare and happiness of all beings and actively seeking to alleviate suffering through kind words, actions, and thoughts. 3. Letting go of ill will. Right intention involves releasing intentions rooted in hatred, anger, or aversion, cultivating goodwill and friendliness towards all beings, even those with whom we may have conflicts or disagreements. 4th, alignment with wisdom, panya. Right intention is grounded in wisdom, which includes understanding the true nature of reality, impermanence, interconnectedness, and the causes of suffering as taught by the Buddha. In practical terms, cultivating right intention involves mindful reflection, reflecting on our intentions, motivations, and attitudes with mindfulness and awareness. Cultivating virtue, developing qualities such as honesty, integrity, and compassion, while aligning our intentions with ethical conduct. Developing loving kindness, engaging in practices such as loving kindness meditation to foster love and compassion towards ourselves and others. Letting go of harmful intentions, recognizing and releasing intentions rooted in greed, hatred, and delusion, while cultivating those that promote peace, happiness, and well-being. By cultivating right intention, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by nurturing wholesome intentions that lead to greater peace and well-being for ourselves and others. Right intention forms the foundation of ethical conduct and mental development on the path to liberation from suffering. As we deepen our practice of right intention, we create the conditions for profound transformation and awakening. Number 13. Right action, Samma Kammanta. Right action, or Samma Kammanta in Pali, is one of the components of the Noble Eightfold Path, serving as a guide to ethical conduct and spiritual development. It refers to the cultivation of wholesome actions that align with the principles of non-harming, honesty, and integrity. The practice of right action involves refraining from actions that cause harm to oneself or others, and engaging in actions that promote well-being, harmony, and compassion. It is about living ethically and responsibly, with consideration for the welfare of all beings. Here are key aspects of right action and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Non-harming. Right action involves refraining from causing harm or violence to oneself or others. It is about cultivating reverence for life and treating all beings with kindness, compassion, and respect. 2. Honesty and integrity. Right action entails being truthful and honest in words and deeds. It involves cultivating integrity and reliability while avoiding deception, dishonesty, and manipulation. 3. Respect for property. Right action includes respecting the possessions of others by refraining from stealing, cheating, or exploiting others for personal gain. Instead, it encourages generosity and respect. 4. Sexual responsibility. Right action includes refraining from actions that cause harm or exploitation in the realm of sexuality. It encourages responsibility, honesty, and respect in relationships while avoiding misconduct, such as adultery or exploitation. 5. Mindful consumption. Right action promotes mindful awareness of our consumption habits and their impact on ourselves and others. It encourages moderation, simplicity, and sustainability while avoiding overindulgence or wastefulness. In practical terms, cultivating right action involves mindful awareness, cultivating mindfulness in our actions, speech, and thoughts, ethical reflection, considering the ethical implications of our actions and their potential impact, developing virtue, cultivating kindness, compassion, honesty, and generosity, and aligning our actions with these principles, practicing nonviolence, engaging in practices that promote nonviolence and compassion, such as loving-kindness meditation and compassionate action. By cultivating right action, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by living ethically and responsibly, with consideration for the well-being of all beings. Right action is the foundation of a life of integrity, compassion, and harmony, leading to greater peace and happiness for ourselves and others. As we deepen our practice of right action, we create the conditions for profound transformation and awakening. Number 14. Acceptance. Here are key aspects of acceptance and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Radical acceptance. Acceptance involves fully acknowledging and embracing the present moment, including its joys, sorrows, challenges, and uncertainties. It is about letting go of the desire for things to be different than they are, and finding peace and contentment amid life's ups and downs. 2. Letting go of resistance. Acceptance entails releasing resistance to the reality of the present moment. It is about surrendering to the flow of life and allowing things to unfold naturally without trying to control or manipulate outcomes. 3. Cultivating equanimity. Acceptance is closely linked to the principle of equanimity. It involves cultivating a balanced and impartial mind that is not swayed by the changing conditions of life, but remains steady and composed in the face of pleasure and pain, gain and loss, praise and blame. 4. Embracing impermanence. Acceptance involves embracing the truth of impermanence, the understanding that all things are transient and subject to change. It is about letting go of attachments to fixed outcomes and recognizing the beauty and fragility of life in its constant flux. 5. Non-attachment. Acceptance is rooted in non-attachment, the recognition that clinging to desires and expectations only leads to suffering. It is about letting go of attachment to the past and the future and finding freedom in the present moment. In practical terms, cultivating acceptance involves mindfulness practice, observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations with acceptance and non-judgment, Radical self-acceptance. Embracing ourselves exactly as we are, with all our flaws and imperfections, and extending this same acceptance to others. Practicing gratitude. Cultivating gratitude for both the blessings and challenges of life, and finding contentment in the present moment. Letting go of control. Releasing the need to control or manipulate outcomes, and trusting in the natural unfolding of life. By cultivating acceptance, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, embracing life as it is, with all its imperfections and uncertainties. Acceptance is the gateway to inner peace, contentment, and freedom, allowing us to live with greater ease and openness and to respond to life with wisdom and compassion. As we deepen our practice of acceptance, we create the conditions for profound transformation and liberation from suffering. Number 15. Patience, Khanti. Patience, or Khanti in Pali, is a highly regarded virtue in Buddhism, emphasizing the ability to endure difficulties, setbacks, and challenges with equanimity and resilience. It is the capacity to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity without giving in to frustration, anger, or impatience. Here are key aspects of patience and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Endurance. Patience involves the willingness to endure discomfort and adversity without succumbing to resistance or reactivity. It is about staying present with whatever arises, whether pleasant or unpleasant, and trusting in the natural unfolding of events. 2. Cultivating resilience. Patience builds resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and difficulties with grace and strength. It is about recognizing that challenges are an inherent part of life and viewing them as opportunities for growth and learning. 3. Tolerance of imperfection. Patience entails accepting the imperfections of ourselves and others with understanding and compassion. It is about letting go of the need for perfection and embracing the inherent humanity and fallibility of all beings. 4. Non-reactivity. Patience involves non-reactivity, the ability to respond to situations with mindfulness and equanimity rather than reacting impulsively out of habit or conditioning. It is about pausing before reacting and choosing a response that is skillful and compassionate. 5. Cultivating inner peace. Patience leads to inner peace, the calm and steady mind that arises from accepting things as they are, rather than trying to force them to be different. It is about finding peace amid life's storms and cultivating a sense of inner tranquility that is not dependent on external conditions. In practical terms, cultivating patience involves mindfulness practice, observing our thoughts, emotions, and reactions with patience and non-reactivity. Practicing non-attachment, letting go of attachment to outcomes, and accepting the natural flow of life with patience and equanimity. Developing compassion. Cultivating compassion towards ourselves and others, recognizing that everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have. Seeking support. Reaching out to spiritual teachers, mentors, or community members who can offer guidance and encouragement on the path of patience. By cultivating patience, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, accepting the unfolding of life with grace and equanimity, rather than trying to force outcomes or control situations. Patience is the foundation of inner peace and resilience, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with wisdom, compassion, and strength. As we deepen our practice of patience, we create the conditions for greater peace, happiness, and well-being for ourselves and all beings. Number 16. Trust in the process. Trust in the process is a fundamental aspect of acceptance in Buddhism. It involves having faith in the natural unfolding of life and trusting that everything happens according to its own rhythm and wisdom, even when the path ahead seems uncertain or challenging. Here are key aspects of trust in the process and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Surrendering to uncertainty. Trust in the process means surrendering to the inherent uncertainty of life and trusting that everything unfolds in its own time and way. It is about letting go of the need for certainty and control and embracing the mystery and unpredictability of existence. 2. Faith in the Dharma. Trust in the process is rooted in faith in the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and confidence in the path of liberation from suffering. It is about trusting that the practices of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom lead to greater peace and happiness. 3. Embracing impermanence. Trust in the process entails embracing the impermanent nature of all things and trusting that change is an inherent part of life. It is about letting go of attachment to fixed outcomes and recognizing that every experience, whether pleasant or unpleasant, is an opportunity for growth and transformation. 4. Cultivating patience. Trust in the process is closely linked to the practice of patience. It is about trusting that difficulties and challenges are temporary and that with patience and perseverance, we can navigate through them with grace and resilience. 5. Finding freedom in surrender. Trust in the process leads to a sense of freedom in surrender, the freedom that comes from letting go of the need to control or manipulate outcomes and trusting in the inherent wisdom of life itself. In practical terms, cultivating trust in the process involves mindfulness practice. Cultivating mindfulness allows us to observe the flow of life with curiosity and openness, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. Letting go of attachment, releasing attachment to specific outcomes, and trusting that whatever arises is for our highest good and spiritual growth. Reflecting on impermanence, acknowledging the impermanent nature of all things, and trusting that change is a natural and necessary part of life. Surrendering to the present moment, embracing the present moment with trust and openness, knowing that everything we need is available to us right now. By cultivating trust in the process, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, surrendering to the flow of life with trust and openness rather than trying to force outcomes or control situations. Trust in the process is the gateway to greater peace, freedom, and happiness, allowing us to live with greater ease and joy, and to respond to life with wisdom and compassion. As we deepen our practice of trust, we create the conditions for profound transformation and liberation from suffering. Number 17. Simplicity Santosha. Simplicity, or Santosha in Pali, is a principle in Buddhism that emphasizes contentment and inner peace through embracing a life of simplicity and moderation. It is the practice of finding fulfillment and happiness in the present moment, rather than seeking satisfaction through external possessions or achievements. Here are key aspects of simplicity and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Contentment with what is. Simplicity involves being content with what we have, finding joy and fulfillment in the present moment, rather than constantly seeking more or striving for external success. It is about appreciating the simple pleasures of life and cultivating gratitude for the abundance that already exists. 2. Letting go of excess. Simplicity entails letting go of excess and living with just what is necessary for our well-being and happiness. It is about decluttering our lives, both physically and mentally, and focusing on what truly matters rather than being weighed down by unnecessary possessions or distractions. 3. Cultivating inner peace. Simplicity leads to inner peace, the calm and steady mind that arises from letting go of desires and attachments. It is about finding freedom in simplicity and experiencing a sense of spaciousness and clarity in our lives. 4. Honoring interdependence. Simplicity honors the interconnectedness of all beings and recognizes that our actions have an impact on the world around us. It is about living in harmony with nature, treading lightly on the earth, minimizing our ecological footprint, and reducing harm to other beings. 5. Embracing the present moment. Simplicity involves fully embracing the present moment and finding joy and beauty in the here and now. It is about letting go of regrets about the past and worries about the future, savoring the richness of life as it unfolds, moment by moment. In practical terms, cultivating simplicity involves mindful consumption, being mindful of our consumption habits, and making choices that align with our values of simplicity, sustainability, and ethical responsibility. Sabbath practice. Setting aside regular time for rest and rejuvenation, and simplifying our schedules to create space for reflection, creativity, and connection. Gratitude practice. Cultivating gratitude for the simple blessings of life and appreciating the abundance that surrounds us, whether in nature, relationships, or everyday experiences. Voluntary simplicity. Exploring practices of voluntary simplicity, such as minimalism, frugality, and intentional living, to reduce clutter, busyness, and distractions, creating more space for what truly matters. By cultivating simplicity, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, letting go of the need to constantly strive for more, and instead, finding contentment and fulfillment in the present moment. Simplicity is the pathway to greater peace, happiness, and freedom, allowing us to live with greater ease and joy, and to respond to life with wisdom and compassion. As we deepen our practice of simplicity, we create the conditions for profound transformation and liberation from suffering. Number 18. Flexibility. Flexibility is an essential quality in Buddhism that involves adapting to change with openness, resilience, and agility. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to flow with the ever-changing circumstances of life, and to respond skillfully to whatever arises. Here are key aspects of flexibility and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Adaptability. Flexibility entails being adaptable and open-minded, willing to let go of rigid expectations and plans when necessary. It is about embracing the impermanent nature of life and responding to changing circumstances with creativity and resilience. 2. Equanimity in change. Flexibility involves maintaining equanimity in the face of change, neither clinging to what is passing nor grasping for what is yet to come. It is about finding a sense of stability and peace amidst the flux of life, knowing that all things are impermanent and subject to change. 3. Creative problem solving. Flexibility empowers us to approach challenges with creativity and resourcefulness, finding innovative solutions to obstacles and setbacks. It is about thinking outside the box and seeing possibilities where others see limitations. 4th, letting go of control. Flexibility entails letting go of the need to control or micromanage every aspect of our lives, and instead, trusting in the natural intelligence and wisdom of life itself. It is about surrendering to the flow of life and allowing things to unfold organically, without resistance or interference. 5. Embracing uncertainty. Flexibility involves embracing uncertainty as an inherent part of life and seeing it as an opportunity for growth and discovery. It is about stepping into the unknown with courage and curiosity, rather than fear or resistance. In practical terms, cultivating flexibility involves mindfulness practice. Cultivating mindfulness allows us to observe our reactions to change with awareness and non-judgment, helping us respond with greater flexibility and adaptability. Resilience training. Building resilience through practices such as meditation, yoga, or martial arts, strengthening our capacity to bounce back from adversity and remain grounded in the midst of change. Embracing diversity. Recognizing that there are many paths to truth and liberation. It is about being open to learning from others and expanding our perspectives. Seeking feedback. Being open to constructive criticism and new ideas rather than being defensive or closed-minded. By cultivating flexibility, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, embracing the dynamic and ever-changing nature of life, rather than trying to force outcomes or control situations. Flexibility is the key to greater resilience, creativity, and freedom, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with grace and ease. As we deepen our practice of flexibility, we create the conditions for profound transformation and liberation from suffering. Number 19. Letting go. Letting go is a fundamental practice in Buddhism that involves releasing attachment to desires, expectations, and identities, surrendering to the flow of life with openness and equanimity. It is the process of relinquishing the urge to control or grasp onto things, and instead allowing them to arise and pass away naturally. Here are key aspects of letting go and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Embracing impermanence and acceptance. Letting go is fundamentally about releasing our attachments to both the highs and lows of life. It means freeing ourselves from the grip of desire, expectation, and preference, embracing things as they truly are, without resistance or yearning. 2. Surrendering illusions of control. Life is unpredictable and largely out of our hands. Letting go teaches us to surrender the illusion that we can control everything around us. It's about trusting the natural progression of life and allowing events to unfold organically, without interference or manipulation. 3. Cultivating inner freedom. Through letting go, we develop a detachment that fosters a deep sense of freedom and independence from external circumstances. This inner peace allows us to find happiness and contentment from within, rather than constantly seeking it from the outside world. 4. Accepting the fleeting nature of life. At its core, letting go is about accepting the transient nature of all things. It is the recognition that everything changes and nothing is permanent. By embracing this truth, we can live more fully, appreciating each moment without clinging to fixed outcomes or identities. 5. Achieving true liberation. The ultimate goal of letting go is liberation from the endless cycle of desire, attachment, and suffering. It opens the door to profound peace and joy, arising from the freedom of releasing control and living in the present with openness and acceptance. Practical steps to cultivate letting go. Mindfulness practice. Engage in mindfulness to clearly see and non-judgmentally understand our attachments, helping us release them more easily. Meditative inquiry. Reflect on attachment and impermanence through deep meditation and contemplation to gain insights into the true nature of reality. Practicing non-attachment. Foster non-attachment through acts of generosity, forgiveness, and loving kindness, diluting self-centeredness and opening our hearts to broader compassion and connection. Developing trust. Build trust in the wisdom of life and the teachings of spiritual guides. Surrender to the journey of awakening with faith and confidence. Cultivating gratitude. The pathway to non-forced gratitude in Buddhism isn't just about feeling thankful. It is a profound acknowledgement of our interconnectedness and the richness of life. It's about seeing and appreciating the abundance around us, no matter our situation, and understanding that we are part of a greater whole. By embracing gratitude, we reinforce our trust in the journey, filling our lives with peace and allowing us to approach every moment with wisdom and compassion. Unlocking the power of gratitude, a journey through mindfulness and compassion. 1. Cultivating appreciation. Gratitude starts with actively recognizing the gifts that life offers, from the simple pleasures of daily existence to the profound connections between all living beings. It's about seeing the beauty in the world and embracing life wholeheartedly. 2. Overcoming entitlement. Gratitude helps us shift away from feelings of entitlement and dissatisfaction by refocusing our attention from what we lack to the abundance we possess. It teaches us to cherish what we have, fostering a sense of sufficiency and reducing the urge to compare ourselves to others. 3. Building connections. Gratitude deepens our relationships with ourselves, others, and the world. It involves acknowledging the support and generosity we receive, and expressing gratitude through both words and actions, strengthening our emotional and social bonds. 4. Transforming our view of life. With gratitude, we begin to view life's challenges as opportunities for growth. It allows us to reframe our experiences positively, finding meaning and purpose even during difficult times. 5. Fostering joy. Gratitude is intrinsically linked to joy, a profound happiness that comes from appreciating life's blessings. It encourages us to live in the moment and revel in life's simple joys. Practical ways to cultivate gratitude. Daily reflection. Make it a habit to reflect on the day's blessings, recognizing the good in your life, and fostering an attitude of gratitude. Gratitude journaling. Keep a journal where you regularly record things you're thankful for, developing a consistent practice of appreciation. Acts of kindness. Perform acts of kindness and generosity, and be grateful for the opportunity to positively impact others. Mindful living. Practice mindfulness to fully engage with and appreciate the present, enhancing your awareness of life's beauty and richness. Gratitude and non-force. By embracing gratitude, we align with the principle of non-force, welcoming life with an open heart instead of striving or resisting. Gratitude paves the way for a life filled with joy, connection, and well-being, allowing us to handle life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. Conclusion. Embracing Buddhist teachings on acceptance Buddhism teaches us to navigate life's uncertainties with patience, flexibility, and an open heart. By cultivating gratitude and simplicity, we discover contentment in the present, leading to profound inner peace and joy. Join us on this transformative journey. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights inspired by the enduring wisdom of Buddha. Together, let's embrace acceptance and enrich our lives with compassion, mindfulness, and gratitude.